Jessie here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. For today's video, we are going to be setting up my sinking funds log here in my Franken Planner, which I have my budget by paycheck workbook pages in here. I have my Erin Condren monthly pages in here. I uncoiled that planner and added the pages that I needed in here so that I have everything I need for my budget and my lifestyle planning all in one book. I have already set up my monthly calendar for April here, which I will use to track my transactions every week. I use a color coding system to do that. So this is all set up. In a separate video that I posted last week, I did this spread here where I set up my April 2021 income tracker, my savings tracker, and my dashboard page. And today, as I said, we're going to be setting up my sinking funds and my transaction log. We're going to be laying the stickers down. I'm also going to be going into my accordion folder where I keep all of my sinking funds, and we're going to be counting everything up and getting a starting balance for my tracker. So if you are interested in seeing me count up my sinking funds, figure out exactly what I have here, and setting this up, just keep on watching. So we're going to start by laying down some stickers. I have here these stickers from Caffeinated Kate Printables. I downloaded these from her shop and printed and cut them myself using my silhouette portrait. So we're going to start out with this really beautiful header here across the top. I'm just going to get this laid down. And I'm going to use the header here, which says sinking funds. And I'm also going to use this little strip here that says fund, start, plus, minus, and end. So we are going to be writing in each of my sinking funds as well as the starting balance. I have completely wrapped up all of my sinking funds for March. Everything that I planned to add in the month of March has been added, so we are all set to get a starting balance for April. So I'm going to pull in my pen here. This is an erasable pen from Parkoo. I love writing in erasable pens because it makes it super easy if I make a mistake. I have my sinking funds here, which I'm going to open up. I keep all of my sinking funds in an accordion folder in my safe. Each of my sinking funds has its own little tab, so we're just going to be going into my folder, pulling out each of the funds, and putting in a starting balance. So the very first sinking fund I have is my Amazon Prime sinking fund. I think I'm going to keep this accordion folder off to the side so it doesn't mess up with my focus. And my Amazon Prime sinking fund is empty at the moment. We just renewed our Amazon Prime membership at the start of March. We don't need to worry about this again until March of 2020, so this is going to be sitting empty for a little while, which is totally fine. So I'm just going to write the name of the fund, which is Amazon Prime. And our starting balance for that is 0. So that takes care of the first one. Next up, I have our anniversary fund, which is also empty. We took this money that we had saved for our anniversary and deposited it into the bank. I'm going to be going later this week with my husband to celebrate our 15th wedding anniversary. It's on March 31st. So that money is in the bank and ready for us to spend it. We're going to go out for a nice dinner and celebrate that. So the start of April, this anniversary fund is empty. We will be, of course, adding more money to it to celebrate our anniversary for next year. But for now, it's starting with 0 as well. Likewise, our birthdays envelope is empty. None of us celebrate a birthday until November. My birthday is in November, so we have plenty of time to save up for that. All the guys in my life celebrate birthdays in January, so we ended up spending everything that we had in this fund at the end of January for my husband's birthday, and it's gonna sit empty for a little while longer. Next on the list is my campground fund, and finally we have something to count. So I'm just going to write this in. And our campground fund, according to the little card in here that I use to keep track of the comings and goings of these funds, there should be $518 in here. And this fund is to pay the annual fee on our campground where we have our camper, and also to pay our campground electric bill. So I'm going to just set this card here, and we're going to count this and make sure that I have what the card says I have. I always like to go in once a month, get my starting balance for the month, and make sure that I have what I should have. So 100, 50, 200, 50, 300, 50, 400, 50, 500, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. So there is $518 in there. So that'll go back into my accordion folder then. And next up, I have car maintenance. And it looks like the balance we are going to start out with for car maintenance is $400. So I'm just going to write that in here, and we're going to count this up. 100, 200, 50, 300, 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 400. Okay. So now I have this money set aside for whenever we need an oil change or if we have car trouble. That's what this fund is for. Next up, we have Christmas. And our Christmas fund right now has $300 in it. So I need to be bulking this one up. This is one of the funds I'm going to be focusing on in April. Because we have so many sinking funds, we don't add money to every single fund every single payday. We just pick and choose based on how much money we have that week, what our goals are, that sort of thing. So I like to use this kind of once a month check-in to really see which of my funds I have neglected, which ones I could add more money to, and Christmas is definitely one of those. So should have 300, 100, 50, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 300. All right. The next fund is our clothing fund. This is a fund that we added quite a bit of money to in March with our stimulus check. But then we just as quickly spent it. We had quite a few clothing items that we needed. So right now, according to my card here, it should have $38. 20, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38. So not a whole heck of a lot in there. And I just realized that I did not write down how much I said was in my Christmas fund. What am I thinking, you guys? Why didn't you remind me? So I'm going to pull that Christmas fund back out, and we said that one has 300. And clothing did in fact have 38, so that's that. Next up, we have my gasoline fund. So for my gasoline fund, this is extra gas money on top of the $40 that I put into a cash envelope every week to spend on gas. So I always have $40 a week budgeted for gas, but if we ever need more than that, maybe we're traveling a lot, you know, whatever it is, gas is a need, not a want in my opinion. So I always like to have extra gas money just in case. You never know. So gas prices have gone up steadily. So we wanted to have quite a bit of money set aside for gas. So right now this fund has $300 in it. And that's kind of the cap. That's how much I want to have in extra gas money. So at the end of each week, I take a look at my gas envelope, and any money that I have left over in my gas envelope, I would add to this gas fund. But right now we're not adding anything else because we have $300. I feel like that is sufficient. If at some point in the future we use this money for gas, we travel more in the summer, we do a lot more driving in the summer, and you never know, gas prices may continue to go up. So if at any point this fund falls below $300, we'll go back to adding money to it, but $300 is the most that I anticipate having in extra gas money at any one time. I hope that makes sense. So let's count this and make sure there is in fact 300. 50, 100, 50, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 300. All right. So that's it for gas. Next up, we have haircuts, and for haircuts, it looks like we have $60 in there. So let me write that in. As my starting balance. There is, in fact, $60 in here, so we are all set. That's how much we need to take all three of my guys, my husband, and our two sons in for haircuts. Next up, we have holidays, and I did not update my card, but holidays is actually empty. We took all of that money to go towards Easter. So this is starting out at nothing. All of our Easter shopping is done and we are ready to celebrate the holiday. So holidays is empty currently, but we will be adding more money to it throughout April because now that Easter is behind us, we're going to start saving for Mother's Day. So that is holidays. Next up, we have my household sinking fund, and my household sinking fund right now is looking pretty puny. We only have $17 in there, so obviously I need to focus on adding more to this fund in April, but for now, it has a little bit in there, so we can buy, you know, toilet paper or laundry detergent or whatever it is we need. So $10, $15, $16, $17 in household. The next fund we have is our home insurance fund. We pay our home insurance just once a year. Right now, this fund has $600 in it, according to the little card here. My handwriting is getting very, very crooked. I don't like to draw in lines here. I know that drives some of you crazy, but I can't draw a straight line to save my life. And looking at a crooked line would be more bothersome for me than seeing my kind of columns go a little bit wonky. So I don't draw lines in. I apologize if that makes you crazy. All right, 600, let's see. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 300, 400, 500, 600. Not really sure why I decided to count that backwards, but it is what it is. 600 as anticipated. So that's going to go back behind the home insurance tab. Alright, next up we have my husband's hunting fund, which is currently empty. We don't have to worry about hunting season until October, so plenty of time to add to this fund. It is likely not something we will worry about in April. Next up, we have our pets fund. This is a fund for pet food, cat litter, taking our kitty cats to the vet, whatever they need. Right now, according to my card here, it has $108, so we are all set to go and buy their food and everything else that they need. You guys, I'm so sorry. I have been so far zoomed out. Have you even been able to see this whole time? If you are blind as a bat like I am so sorry. Alright, so $108. Let's see. That's a good number if you're a Lost fan. Alright, 50, 70, 90, 95, 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, Pets Fund is as anticipated. I've actually been really good. So far I have had exactly what I should have had, and I've only found one card that I haven't updated. A lot of times if I go in and I take money out of a fund, I'll forget to update the card. So this once a month little check-in is a good time for me to make sure all my cards are up to date as well. Alright, next up we have my P.O. Box fund. I believe my P.O. Box is up for renewal sometime in the next couple of weeks, so I need to go and pay that. But for now, this fund has $60 in it. That is what I need to make that payment. So 20, 40, 50, 60. That's perfect. Next up, we have property taxes. And our property tax fund right now, according to the card, has $40 in it. Once again, I forgot to actually write in the amount. My brain is elsewhere today, I guess. 20, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Okay, so that's property tax done. The next little slot here in my accordion folder is my savings, but if you watched my Q1 savings video, you would know that I am not going to be participating in any savings challenges for a while. So the only thing that is behind that tab is my Nintendo Switch savings. So I need to go in and change the little label on my accordion folder to just have this be my Switch. I'm not going to be participating in any savings challenges and have any rainy day savings. Instead, we're just going to move this Nintendo Switch fund into my sinking funds, which is where it should have been all along. So for my Switch savings, according to this card here, I should have $58. 20, 30, 40, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58. So I will likely add a tiny bit more to this fund and then go and buy a new Nintendo Switch game, which is what I've been saving for. I think I'm going to get Animal Crossing, but if you have other Switch game suggestions, let me know. I'd love to hear from you. So that is Switch. Next up, I have school expenses. And this is a fund that I have for saving money for anything that comes up related to school. So for example, my husband's not in school. My son recently joined his school's track team, and we needed to take him to get a sports physical to make sure that he was, healthy and up to joining that team. That cost us $30, and so we took that out of the school expenses, since that was an expense directly related to after-school activities. If he needs track shoes, that'll come out of school expenses as well. This is also where we keep money for school clothes, school lunches, that sort of thing. So right now, according to my card here, this has $70 in it. And that is indeed what's here, 50, 60, 70. So that's school expenses. Wrapping it up here, we just have a couple more. Next up, we have vacation savings. And our vacation savings currently has $300 in it. 100, 200, 250, 300. This is money we've set aside for our camping season, which is coming up here really quickly. I am so excited to be going camping. We have a camper out at an annual campsite that we can go and visit. We spend all of our time there in the summer, so I'm really, really excited about that. And lastly, I have my YouTube fund, which is actually for YouTube taxes. I make a little bit of money here on YouTube because of the ads that you guys see playing before and during my videos. YouTube pays through Google AdSense, but when they make the payments to me once a month, they don't withhold taxes. So I have to do that myself. So for everything that comes in from YouTube, I collect 30% of that and set it aside in an envelope so that at the end of 2021, when I go to file my taxes, I guess it's really the start of 2022, next tax season, I'll have this money set aside to pay those taxes. Wow, I really was long-winded there. So this fund right now, according to my card, has $362 in it. And let's count that up. 100, 200, 250, 270, 290, 310, 330, 350, 360, 61, 62. So that is accurate. So that is all of my sinking funds. That's everything that was in this accordion folder. This is my first time filling out this little spread here in my 8.5 by 11 size planner, and I am so thrilled with how much space there was on this page. I did not have to worry about running out of space, so that's good. Really, really loving having everything all in one planner and having my monthly Erin Condren pages right here in my Franken planner. That's working out really well. So I'm going to take this little total section here. I'm going to stick it in along the bottom. And we're going to pull in my calculator and we're going to add up all these totals to get a grand total of how much I have in my sinking funds, which is the most exciting part, right? Seeing the grand total. Super exciting. So let me do some math and I'll be right back. All right, so there is a grand total of $3,231 in sinking funds here. So I have all of this money set aside and ready to be used for all of these various categories. It's a great starting point. I'll of course be adding more money throughout April. Any money that I add or subtract will get written in here, and we'll have a end balance at the end of April, which will of course also be my beginning balance for May. So that is this spread. Really quickly, I'm just going to lay down my header for my transaction log. Whenever I spend money or add money to my sinking funds in addition to writing that information in on that little card, I also include it here in my notebook, and that just makes double darn sure that I know exactly where this money is going. Oops, that's really crooked. All right, so that is my little space for my transaction log. I can write everything in, and that is going to do it for my video for today. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss a video. I post new budgeting and lifestyle content here on my channel every single week. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, friends.